Bex, your guy Nick, Spoonie, Mariella there she is. There's Mariella right there. And we got friend of the show, Cowboys fans only, Jay Tuck in the building. What's going on, Jay Tuck?
What's up, everybody, man? What's going on, Cowboys Nation?
Well. We got some things to talk about. Jerry out here on the radio making the rounds, talking some things, doing some things, right? Man, we got some of that to talk about. We got some draft stuff to talk about. But first and foremost, now we had concluded the season and whatnot. We did the post game, but we didn't get the one and only Mariella's thought process on week 17 and the wrap up of the season. So before we jump into these Jerry Jones comments, Mary, you watched the game, you went through it, the season wrapped up. Your thoughts as we go down to the Giants 23-19 to finish up the season?
It was just, the defense, they got us the 2 turnovers, which is what I hoped for. Offense didn't, were held to a field goal on the first one, capitalized off the second one. Overall, I'll be honest, I knew that we were going to lose when we just kept kicking field goals. Every time, like 9 times out of 10 when that happens, we end up losing. Shout out to Greg Zerline, because they said it was windy, it was sleeting, it was raining out there, and he was mostly down the middle, even on that extra long one early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Still, the defense, Daniel Jones clearly was full of crap when he was talking about he still wasn't mobile yet, because they kept trying to run it on us. And, our defense made some good plays stopping those QB runs. But overall, they just couldn't do enough. We're used to them. They always led a team, no matter who it is, no matter how bad the offense is, no matter where they're ranked. They go right down the field for the first drive 9 times out of 10 and score a touchdown. Then our offense, no matter what defense we're playing, they struggle on the first drive and they come out with nothing, a field goal if they're lucky.
Right.
A lot of the same that we're used to seeing. So I'm just hoping that we get a full off season. We have an actual real free agency that's going to address real concerns. And,
real free agency, I like that.
And that they keep impressing us with the draft.
And we can put it to rest. Mary has spoken. 23-19. We can put it to rest. Wanted to finish strong. We didn't. But we definitely want to give Mary an opportunity to speak on that. But with that being said, the hot button for the day, Jay Tuck, your boy Jerry, Wayne. Jerry Wayne out here talking. So let's see. What do you want to break down to start with first? How about the defense? That's been the hot button, right? We've been talking about this defense. Mike Nolan, he was questioned. Jay Tuck, what'd you think about Jerry's first response? We know there's a little pivot there. That first response, though.
Yeah, like I said, shout out to the guys on the fan, man, because they kind of asked, what did the fans want us to ask Jerry Jones? And they did ask the tough questions, and Jerry did dance around the subject like Jerry does, man. And I said, when I was really taken back is when I saw heard Jerry Jones actually take the blame, self-responsibility for the defense. And what he really was talking about is that, it was kind of his fault for wanting to implement the multiple defense scheme. He should have known that with COVID and, everything going on, it wasn't going to give Mike Nolan a fair chance, enough time to really bring that on with this team. And then that's when I sat back and thought, he's really giving this man the pass. He's giving him the pass. Jerry Jones is giving Mike Nolan the pass. So Dallas Cowboys fans, y'all might need to brace yourself, man, because the way things felt today. Now, he didn't say officially that, Nolan will be back. He didn't say that. But the way he was addressing the conversation, it made me really believe that they're going to give him the pass for what happened in the offseason. They want to give a full season training camp to Mike Nolan moving forward. So I think, 2 of the things that we've been banging the table for next was to sign Dak Prescott and get rid of Mike Nolan. Neither of those 2 of those things have happened thus far. And so here we are, y'all. Official Dallas Cowboys off season.
Spoonie, you heard Jerry. Then he had the old they doubled down, right? They pressed him a little bit after he was like, well, it was, COVID, this, that. And then they're like, well, okay. They kind of, hey, what about Nolan, whatnot? And then once again, Jerry, the old snake oil spin doctor himself, still spun his way up out of there, right?
Yes.
And how does that, and Spoonie, how does that make you feel?
And let me say this before you go, Spoon. Jerry Jones, man, he is the master of the gift of gab, man. Because, like you said, he spun his way out of that conversation perfect, man. No no stutters, just spun right out. And they're like, okay, Jerry, that's it, man. So,
yeah, people, as he said, people got the job done with COVID. We'll take a hard look while those clubs in playoffs and Cowboys isn't. Speaking on Mike Nolan's future was the pivot that he answered with. Go ahead, Spoon.
Well, last week when we had the Giants and Cowboys preview, I busted my behind going up a hill.
You did.
I got mad. I was saying to myself, I was trying to tell the world, I'm walking up a hill, the way the Cowboys was climbing the hill, and we finally get to the top. And I fell, and I was barefooted. I lost my sock and everything. So I'm kind of pissed off when I hear the comments that Jerry said today. I'm very pissed off about it because at the end of the day, the lesson was supposed to be learned from last year. And you haven't learned your lesson. That's the issue. Between him and Stephen Jones, it's like, you could put it this way. I'd rather somebody tie me up and threaten me than listen to both these guys lie 24/7. Let's come out with it. Stop with the dancing around. You're insulting our intelligence. Now that we have social media, it's not like back in the days you can hide stuff. We're reading between the lines. If you want, if Nolan's back, stop saying, well, the COVID off season and on top of that, I take the blame because we didn't have the right guys. End of the day, listen to me. You was the first one, Jerry, talking about defense. Now all of a sudden you changing your mind. But Jerry, did you change your mind about Dak yet? Because you're saying the same crap from last year. The same thing. Dak should be listen, we don't want to keep hearing, well, Dak got leverage. Well, Dak.
We'll get to that. We're gonna get to And Spoon. But what you're alleviating to is a thing that I banged the table for after we lost the game. And what I've been saying is, hey, look, I wanted to be razor sharp focused from this front office. I want these things to be knocked out in an orderly fashion. I don't need you to talk about anything. Just show me, right? And at the end of the day, the things that we kind of talked about here towards the end of the season, well, here comes these turnovers. We've won 3 straight. Is this going to crack that door open for old Mike Nolan to come back in here and retain his position? Mary, after kind of hearing some of these comments from Jerry today, and there's nothing really been done. Do you think that bodes with Mike Nolan going to retain his position, or do you think there's still a chance that they're going to move on from him?
I think that obviously we didn't learn anything from that interview about Mike Nolan and where he'll be next year. But in my opinion, I think Jerry probably doesn't know right now either.
That's a problem then.
Yeah.
That's a problem. If Jerry doesn't understand that we need to make a move at defense, that's a problem. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think he honestly doesn't really know yet. I mean, it was 2 days after that. I mean, obviously we've seen a lot going on this season with how bad our defense has played. But he's an owner of one of the most visible sports teams in the world, but he's a fan at the end of the day. And sometimes he says things out of emotion, just like every Sunday night when they play bad and they lose. I want everybody fired. I want everybody cut. I want everybody fired. Then I calm down, take a few shots, wake up Monday morning. And then I'm like, okay, I mean, I relook at the game. I see things, so it's just like one of those things where he doesn't know yet. It's only been 2 days. I think part of it is Cowboys fans. It's been like 25 years and we're just all impatient. Right. We just think it should be done right now. And if it's not, then you suck and you're bad and you're stupid.
Right.
And
right.
I think he just doesn't know yet.
Here's my thing. Don't get on the radio if you don't know yet.
Right.
How about?
Of course.
There's nothing wrong. The season's over. There's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey guys, we're not going to do the radio spot this week. We got to do our exit interviews. We're going to figure some things out and go from there." So whenever you jump out here, and whether he knows or not, here's what he did to me, anyways, is he left the window open,
right,
for Mike Nolan to come back at this point. Jay Tuck, do you after what we heard today, really a non-real answer on both sides, although we did get Jerry saying, I'm putting the blame on me, right? Because the one thing I've always said about the Joneses, if they like a coach or they want to keep a coach, they're Teflon Dons. They'll take all the heat. They want all the smoke. For all y'all that watch the end of Power Ghost Book 2.
Yeah.
They'll take. They want all the smoke. They'll take all the smoke.
Great episode, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So to me, I look, it worries me. J Tuck, what do you think his comments mean as it pertains to Mr. Nolan?
Yeah, because going off of what Mary just said, if Jerry Jones really doesn't know, then who is he going to lean to? Probably the head coach, Mike McCarthy, and who has a relationship with Mike Nolan. So, I mean, at this point, if I had to put my money down, I would say Mike Nolan will be the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys, and Jerry's going to really want to evaluate him, giving him a full training camp, full off season to really implement his defense, whatever that is. Because even if you were, think of it, if you're Mike Nolan, right? What is your selling point to keep your job? Well, Jerry, look how we started to come along. Look how the defense played well. Look at the turnovers that we had. Now, the turnovers is pretty much smearing, they say, lipstick on a pig, because even though we were getting these turnovers, you were still getting gashed on the run, giving up big plays, lack of communication. So everything was still there, but we had a few more turnovers, and so it kind of helped clear things up a little bit. So I think, honestly, y'all, man, I would definitely think about Mike Nolan possibly being the head coach. Maybe they bring in somebody, not head coach, but defensive coordinator, but maybe bring in someone else to help with the defense. Maybe that's going to be a Sean Lee role possibly or whatnot. But I don't see the Cowboys moving on the way Jerry, because he had all the opportunity to say, you know what, we're going to talk about that. We're going to deal with our coaching staff all season. We'll get to that bridge when we get there. But the way he kind of danced around it, it made me think that he really wants to take the COVID excuse.
Yeah, he greased the tracks, if you will.
Right.
He greased the tracks a little bit. Spoonie, after seeing the answer, non-answer, putting the blame on me, you know, what do you at? Oh, scale of 1 to 10, Spoon. I love Spoon on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being he's out of here, 10 he's going to be retained. Mike Nolan back next year as the defensive coordinator, not on the staff, but as defensive coordinator. 1 to 10, Spoon. What do you think?
As defensive coordinator, right? All right. I'm gonna give it about a 9.
Ooh.
9 that he will be.
9 that he will be.
Oh, yeah.
9 that he will be. I have a feeling he's gonna be back. I hate to say that. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope I'm wrong. I would love to come on this summer and everyone's like, you guys were wrong about Nolan. I would gladly take that. I mean, during that interview, man, it just didn't sit right with me if you thought we were going to move on from Mike Nolan.
Yeah, you know, and the crazy thing was, like, not a couple of weeks ago, right? And even even Mike Fisher said, you know, well, it's not really speculative. It's at this point, it's just it's known within the building that he's going to move on after the season. Well, if that's the case, we're hearing that from Mike Fisher a few weeks ago, that, you know, it's not really speculatory. It's just kind of a known thing at this point that Mike Nolan's going to move on. Then, you know, what are we talking about? Now we can say, well, Jerry's trying to help save face for Mike Nolan, give him a soft spot to land. Now, you can sell me with that when it comes to Jason Garrett, and he's been here for 9 years. Right. That's your guy, right? There's always been a Garrett in the building since 89 and the whole 9. You don't really have any reason to really grease the wheels here with Nolan. The proof is in the pudding. Now, we can say that the NFL, the NFL, the most points ever scored in an NFL season was this year. But on top of that, the Cowboys gave up over 400, damn near 500 points this season. The most I think Marinelli gave up was like 368-ish, somewhere around in there. Don't quote me, somewhere within that. So there's obviously a problem, right? You know, we're talking about from whenever Nolan was up in the booth to down on the ground to this defense is too complicated to the multiple times the linebackers getting beaten coverage, you know, to blown coverages. I've never seen so many blown wide open touchdown passes as we saw this year. And yes, maybe it got a little bit better towards the end of the year, but guess what it was? I mean, again, you look at, as my guy Big Game James said, fool's gold.
Right.
You know, you look at the quarterbacks, that you played and what happened. And even at the very tail end, Daniel Jones, wink, wink, on a bad will or not,
right,
you couldn't get the job done, you know, defensively even. So, yeah, don't like to talk from Jerry on that. You know, it's just, to me, as you said, some of the things that you noted there, Tuck, is it kind of greases the little tracks to say, well, he's already embedded the idea, A, it was my fault, and B, COVID, so we can give him another run, another crack at this thing, and we're going to make sure this time we'll get it right this time around. And like Mary said, to the certain point, maybe Jerry Jones doesn't know, and that's quite possible. But man, that's you do, as your GM. I ain't gonna talk about owner Jerry. I'm talking about GM Jerry. We got an owner Jerry comments here in the section that we'll talk about. But as a GM, boy, you don't want to go and say, hey, you know, you need to be a little bit more exact with your words if you're going to come out and talk.
Right. And we spoke about this off cam, but think about next season. We got, Brady, we have Mahomes, we have Herbert. Like, we have some quarterbacks that come out there and slaying that thing in those offenses. And so we can't go out there with the same defense, man, and giving up historical numbers. So
no, big facts. And some of that's going to change, right? Free agency, guys are leaving, guys are bringing back, draft to see what this thing looks like and everything else. I mean, man, you don't want to be on that hamster wheel. And here we are 3 weeks into the next season talking about, well, this defense is too complicated.
Right. Yeah.
We don't really know. Schemeless defense, guys. Come on, it's schemeless.
Right.
Obviously, it was schemeless because we gave up almost 500 points.
Yeah.
It was very schemeless.
It's called get beat, man. That's the get beat defense.
So
that's the scheme. Yeah, they're not good at anything. Defense.
Just get beat. So this brings up. I think this does give us a clear-cut answer, maybe to something else that we've talked about as well. 3-man versus a 4-man front. I think in-house at this point, let's go ahead and put that baby to bed. I think it's going to be a 3-man front going forward. I think that's where we're headed, guys. And that's got to start trading or start, changing our idea of what we're going to do with this draft and these linebackers and whatnot. Now, that's my take. Let me start with you, Mary. Do you think now with the way they're kind of about this, we know the history, right, of Mike McCarthy. Do you think this is kind of at least the check mark that this is going to be a 3-4 no matter what, or time will tell?
Time will tell.
Okay.
Definitely.
Time will tell. J Tuck, you think this is the sign that it's a 3-man front going forward no matter what?
Well, hearing what Spoon said last night, it really opened my eyes, and maybe we are a lot closer to a 3-4 than what I assumed, because I thought we were more closer to being more of a 4-3 team. Now, I think what'll really tell us what direction we're swaying will be the draft. If you see us start to, be kind of more linebacker heavy, and then I would think that would give us the inclination that we're going to be more of a 3-4. But like as of right now, preferably, I would like us to be a 4-3 team. I feel like the Dallas Cowboys and just generally we perform better with the 4-3. I just don't trust our linebacker core right now. We really don't have a nose tackle. Having some of these ends. Does Marcus Lawrence, granted, he did play, stand up before, but is he really going to fit well in that scheme? I just don't know. So personally, for me, I would like to be a 4-3 team, but I think if it is Mike Nolan, we'll be a 3-4, and we'll start to see these pieces start to get carved out throughout the offseason.
Spoony, same question to you, man. Is this are we seeing now that if we're reading between the lines that we're going to be a 3-man front, or is this thing going to stick back and go back to the 4-man front?
No, I think it's 3-man front. Just like from last year's draft, Bradley and I, that's one of your pass rushers. He didn't come in the game, but when he did play against the New York Giants. That was week 4, week 5?
Week 5.
And week 5. So basically, he came in playing the 3-4. Alden Smith was leading the team in sacks with the 3-4. It took it to the point where D-Law and a couple of players on defense, well, mainly D-Law, said, well, basically, these guys are able to do what they do because they know the scheme of the 3-4. They went back to 4-3. The 4-3, basically, D-Law is the only one affected, in my opinion, of going to the 3-4. Everybody else on the team,
highest paid though on defense,
right?
And under contract as opposed to other guys.
And that's the thing right there. But like I said, I wouldn't be. I'm not sure. I really believe they're gonna try to go that 3-4 route. Just to even use everybody they drafted last year. Like BJ, we talked about yesterday. You got Tristan Hill and you got Neville Gallimore who could slide it to the end. We don't have that big body in the middle, and that's something they would have to address in the draft or free agent. But I think the personnel they want to go to is 3-4.
Yeah. And here was what Michael's talking about here. And that's why I said 3-man front versus a 4-man front. Nobody really traditionally runs a 4-3 anymore. But in a 3-4, they do run that idea with the 4 linebackers. Obviously, one's going to be that pass rush guy or whatnot. But it's really about a 4-man front versus a 3-man front look is what we're looking at. And obviously, I do agree here with Fogman, who said that even though Tristan Hill, and I said this on the show last night, you can slide Tristan Hill. He can be your defensive end. He's big enough to do it. He does fit better in a 3-4. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. At the end of the day, we look at Mike McCarthy's history and whatnot, and we kind of get these comments today about Nolan or whatever. Man, it's starting to really feel to me like this is going to turn into a 3-4 type of situation, which bodes well for your pet, not your pet cat, J-Tuck, as you said on Twitter, your pet tiger,
right?
If you will, that we can go and get.
Tiger King, man, I'm getting ready.
and of course, I mean, look, that's one thing about this draft. There's some big nasty nose tackles that you can get in this draft that you can get in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. You don't have to go get them in the 1st round. And there's some of those guys in free agency, but we'll put that on pause for now. It's just I think at this point, if you're talking about Jalen Smith and you're getting to the edge, you have him coming forward. If they want to find a way to keep him, that's probably the best way to keep him. Don't drop him back. Have him on the edge and coming forward all of a sudden.
I hate when they drop him back.
Yeah, and you know, and even within that, well, we saw a lot of Dorrance Armstrong dropping into coverage this year, right? And different things. These are kind of some of the principles, if you will, to a certain extent, of that 3-man front that they wanted to kind of get to. So, you know, as much as I'm not really a fan of the 3-4, I'd rather say in a 4-man front. I think this thing is, guys, I really do. I think this thing is going to start tilting towards that way. And then, of course, that does change, you know, how you attack free agency, how you attack the draft. Then you got to start maybe taking a look at Micah Parsons a little bit harder. Do I need to, if he gets to 6, 7, 8, do I need to go up and secure that guy to pair in the middle with LVE as I'm sliding Jalen Smith over here to the side? And, you know, Spoonie's point is great as well, too. I mean, Bradley and A is basically going to be a wasted pick if you don't get to this because apparently they have no interest in putting his hand in the dirt whatsoever. So it's going to be an intriguing time because we know D-Law's not a quiet guy. And if we go back to when we originally moved, remember we had Greg Ellis, traditional 4-3 end, right? And boy, he was not happy. You know, he was disgruntled a little bit. He ended up with 6 or so sacks that first year in the 3-4. But you know what? He did come alive, had double-digit sacks the following 2 years after that. So it's not that D-Law can't do it. How disgruntled is he going to be within that house if they do it and kind of move from there? But
a lot of people out there, it makes a difference. And I think also what will tell us is what we do with Aldon Smith. If we bring back Aldon Smith, I think that will probably give us a sign that we're going to be more of a 3-4 team. So,
and like I said last time, I'll double down on that. I think there's no way Aldon Smith comes back if we're going to stick to a 4-man front. If they are saying, hey, we are all the way in on the 3-4, then I think Aldon Smith will be back. I think that's what it boils down to.
Right.
Jerry had some comments about Dak, y'all. He said he couldn't imagine Dak having more leverage than he's ever had. There's no way, shape, or form building up that leverage game. And then, you know, he also had a comment that, well, we got to pay some guys on defense, and there's only so much money to go around. Sounds a lot like last offseason all of a sudden. And look, right, okay, they can negotiate now and get the deal done if they want to. Right. And I don't know what else you need to see at this point to get the deal done. You were at the midnight hour and you had the deal done, but you ran out of time. You know, time ran out. You couldn't turn in the paperwork. So you should have the paperwork still, right? Just brush it off a little bit, clean it up. All right, here it is. Here's what you wanted. Let's sign it. Let's go. But we're hearing that same old line. Oh, got to pay some defensive guys now. So, Mary, is this deal going to get done before the tag deadline?
When is the tag deadline? It's like early March, right?
Yeah. Although March 6th, I think, is the last day for the tag deadline. I think. Hold on, I can pull that up real quick. Let me pull it up. I think it's when you actually shared that earlier today.
Yeah.
March 9th. March 9th is the deadline.
Yeah, it will.
The deal. You definitely think the deal gets done before free agency? Okay. Yeah. All right. And of course, the earlier they get it done, you got money to play with the free agency. You can't hide behind the tag. Jade Suck, we heard from Jerry today. You know, he had some things to say. Let me pull that old quote real quick.
One of my favorite songs from DMX, man. Here we go again.
That's what I put the different. Same thing. Here you go. We've got to pay additional defense this year. Additional. What does additional mean? Because you're losing guys? Oh, my God. So we've got to pay additional defense this year, and any dollar that goes there doesn't go towards another player. That's how simple it is. Jade Sugg, March 9th, staring you in the face as it's getting done.
FOS.
I wanted to, man, but I don't know. This if you guys, Cowboys fans, if you not hear this interview with Jerry Jones, man, I would say honestly don't listen to it because it's really going to piss you off, to be honest with you. But like, man, just hearing him talk, like it feels like they're not. Like I feel like they're not going to get this deal done with Dak Prescott. I feel like we're about to go through the same thing we went through the offseason, man. Because what he's saying is that, you know, we would like to sign Dak, but we really got to take care of this defense. The defense is now the new excuse, and we got some players that we need to re-sign and whatnot. I just don't see it, man. I feel like we're about to play the same game with Dak Prescott. Because like you're saying, Knicks, just dust off the contract from last year since we were so close and we had fax machine issues and due to COVID or whatnot, Dak's been in the facility riding scooters and all that segways. Get the deal done. So what are we waiting for? I know a lot of people are saying Jerry wants to make a Super Bowl splash. Forget all that, man. Just get the ink dry and let's move on to football. But it sounds like the way Jerry is, man, I just don't see it getting done.
Let me say this. So if everything is true about what they said last offseason, right when the deadline hit, that it was close and they just didn't have enough time. Okay, if we believe that to be true, but they had agreed on all the terms, lawyers, they just reuse templates all the time. Like, it's very basic.
Talk to 'em, Mary.
And all you do is, okay, we know that this is a QB contract. It has most of the basic stuff we like in there. But obviously you go in there, you change the names, you change the dates, you change, special provisions they want in there. You change the amounts and the payment schedules. But it's really just most of the language is very boilerplate.
Right.
And that's for any contract. It's not different for different contracts. It's any contract is mostly boilerplate. Any lawyer that does contracts will tell you they have a folder with a bunch of saved documents and, oh, you need a service agreement? Hold on, I got one. Here you go. And give that service agreement out. They'll just change the important details and whip it out. Literally, maybe a week or two at the most if you want to just double down and make sure you got everything, or if they have some edits. But it literally is boilerplate, most of it. So if you were that close last time, it shouldn't take long to just put it in there, agree, and get it done.
Exactly. Spoonie, is this still going to get done before the tag deadline?
Oh.
It feels like we're in the twilight zone, man. Right back to where we were this summer.
The situation is this, and you got to put two and two together. If you tag Dak, you got no money in free agency, none. So you can't tag him. Remember that you want that first year to be the first year will be practically no money. It'll be the following year where he makes money, so you can still get free agents. So you would have to make a deal, but something inside of me is telling me it's not going to happen. And especially where I know in the beginning of the year where how bad we was playing, we may have the top 3 to 5 pick. We in number 10. I don't see how close we are to get any quarterback. Well, in the draft as far as Trevor Lawrence, that's done. Fields, that's done. And
look, and here's the thing, right? And be clear. Kellen Moore doesn't leave Boise State to stay here if Dak's not a part of the plan.
Right.
It's just about where he's going to get. When is he going to get signed now?
Right. And see, my whole thing is this. Now, if you're talking about, okay, well, let's not sign Dak yet because of the injury. Let's see how he plays. Well, then how else are you going to sign defense? How else are you going to sign players, Jerry? Because at the end of the day, when he signs the tag, that you're carrying that money that year, $37 million that year. So you can't tag him. You got to sign him. Listen, I'm gonna say he gets signed. To wish that I'm really gonna wish on that he gets signed, and I'm gonna say this: maybe Jerry, knowing Jerry, he wants publicity. He wants the ratings again. The networks to talk about Dak Prescott. I put a hot take on Twitter the other day. Dak will get signed during Super Bowl week. When everybody's talking about the Super Bowl teams, Dak will be signed that week to steal the headlines. I'm hoping that's what Jerry does.
But see, Spoon, going off what you just said, everything that Spoon said is accurate. If we franchise tag Dak Prescott, we can't sign under free agents. So if you're Todd France, you really are sitting back thinking, we do have the leverage right now. Yeah. So that's the thing I don't trust. I don't trust Todd France, right now, because he might be pushing for more money, basically off what he saw last year, what happened this past season. As Jerry mentioned, Dak has all the leverage. So he might be sitting back, okay, if you don't meet our new demands, what we're asking for, franchise Dak and your defense will suffer. And so the ball is fully in Todd France's court, which I don't trust, which scares me, man.
Yeah. And of course, and the big thing was to believe what was said is that at the very end there at the deadline, Dak got involved to get the deal done because he wanted to be here, whatever the case may be. Well, guess what? Dak can pick up that ball and do it again. And get in here and say, okay, let's just roll with that contract, whatever. But of course, from the agent standpoint, right, the new median is where the franchise tag is. That's what happens when you don't get a deal done. Right. And the one thing that I've been scared about this entire time, the one thing that I've mentioned a ton is I would sure hate, because like you could tag him, you can still get a deal done before July because the deadline to get your guys signed is like July 15th or something like that once they're on the tag. Steven to tag him and say, well, we wanted to sign some guys,
Right.
But we just couldn't do it. And then the draft comes and goes, and all of a sudden Dak's paid. And like, oh, we freed up some money, but there's nobody to really come and add to this defense. So we're gonna, you know what the number 1 jersey is, the big one with cap space on the back. And we got cap space for next year, and it's okay because we're not gonna do nothing with it.
Let's roll it over.
So that's
I hear that
what I'm
interview.
worried.
I hear that interview now. We took a hard look at Justin Simmons, but we had to take care of Dak first.
Yep.
That was our number 1 priority. I know.
Yeah, big facts, and that's for sure the thing that has definitely been scaring me the entire time is that it gives Steven the leverage to hide in free agency so that he doesn't have to go out here and make any moves to help this team. Or excuse me, they'll find some guys to sign, but it won't be the Justin Simmons of the world, the Dalvin Tomlinsons of the world. The players in
It'll
that
be
realm.
Xavier Woods.
Yeah, Xavier Woods of the world. So we brought back Xavier Woods and Cheeto Woozy. Hey,
Super Bowl.
I gotta do serious something. Listen. Oh no! No, don't say that. Listen. Don't say. Who was it? David Belts.
Who?
On Twitter.
Talking about
Bobby Bell.
Bobby Bell, excuse me. I'm a huge fan of Bobby in his podcast. And he put up the secondary about who may get re-signed and let go. Mm-hmm. He had Xavier Woods out there for a 1-year deal. And that scares me the most. Knowing Stephen Jones, he penny pinches. Now, when Jerry says signing defensive players, listen, Jerry, don't look at the only guy that you should be able to re-sign besides Alden Smith, maybe Cheeto. That's it. Everybody else.
I only want Woods back if he's like gonna play for free or something. Like he's gonna volunteer. He's gonna volunteer or something.
The guy to bring back in the secondary to me is Cheeto.
Right.
That's the guy to bring. That's the guy to bring back. Getting back here on a 1-year or 2-year deal at the end of the day, and that covers your bases where you ought to overreach and overextend for a cornerback at 10 if you don't like what's there. Especially when we talk about these cornerbacks that are going to be in the second round that can come in here and really fit the bill for what we need. But it's just one of those things, man. Of how they handle this contract is going to settle off everything, back to, I hate to sound like a broken record here, ladies and gentlemen, but that's why I wanted a clear-cut focus from this team out of the gate. Go ahead, get it done with Dak. Let's free that up. Hey, wherever we're going to be with this defense, look, fair. Look, I'll even settle. Here I am. I'm going to settle here. Even if it's going to be Mike Nolan, okay, fine. If it's going to be Mike Nolan, then just say it. Rip the Band-Aid. Mm-hmm. Say it. Hey, it's going to be Mike Nolan. It's going to be a 3-man front, and we're going to attack it. Fair. Right. But this wishy-washy, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. This is how you end up 6-10, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly how you end up 6-10 because you're, schemeless and bring me players over scheme, and I'm in the booth like Batman, then I'm on the sideline, then I'm doing all these different things. Just be clear in your approach. Act like an NFL organization. Hey, here's the plan. Here's our goals. Here's what we're going to go do. You know what we're after, and go do it. Stop with the snake oil. Stop with the in one side of your mouth, Dak has all the leverage in the world. But I'm going to slide this in. I'm going to turn the light. Remember, old Jerry, when the lights on, we negotiate. When the lights off, it's done. I'm going to turn the lights up, but we got to play additional defensive players. So those dollars have to count to those guys too. So yeah, man, even if it's Mike Nolan to the moans and groans of everybody in Cowboys Nation, I can deal with that. I want a clear-cut plan as to how we're going to attack and fix this team.
Identity, man. And for some reason, the Dallas Cowboys feels like being a secret, is really going to be our way to get to the Super Bowl. Like, they're not going to know what type of defensive front we're going to have. And so that's how we're going to, it's okay to say you're going to be a 3-4. It's all right. There's plenty of 3-4 teams. We can all cherry pick and tell them, that's their identity. But they want to be so secretive about everything. I really don't know. I don't know what our front's going to, I don't know what we're going to do.
And then it translates to the players on the field,
right?
Not knowing how to run the damn scheme.
We don't know what the hell we are.
We don't know what we're running either. What are we doing?
I only run 100% on one down. The next down, I got to take a break as I'm playing. Yeah, they supposed to do Jerry Jones. Let me tell you something. If they needed somebody to become Yoda from Star Wars, Jerry Jones is the perfect guy. He's a Jedi. The way he talks. Right. How confusing he is the perfect Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
He sold me.
You know?
He sold me. I don't even know what I'm sold on.
Yeah. I'm like, and then he'll get a guy like BJ said. He'll end up getting a regular guy that a big no name. And I'm telling you, the interview about that guy, you will swear to God, this guy won a championship somewhere, or that's what he does. Look, Brandon Carr. Oh, we got a guy in here, Brandon Carr. You know, he could play safety and corner. You know, he does. Terry, we had Brandon Carr here. Remember, you signed him to a big deal, and you released him.
Right.
Oh, now he got Brandon Carr again. Oh, come on. It's like, come on. This is social media now. Social media world. We're not dumb.
Right. We got film now. You know, we seen that. Right?
Yeah. Listen, last year the blue and white scrimmage. We watched the blue and white scrimmage. We were already locked and low.
Oh my God.
We're watching camera movement. We're like this. Oh, what was there? For a whole hour, we come back and we're like, what we gonna discuss? I don't know. Yeah. We've read 3 lines of what happened. That was it.
That was the first time for Mike McCarthy was that blue and white scrimmage. I
don't watch it this year. I don't watch it this year. I don't watch it.
Secret agents, man. Secret agents.
Right.
Yeah.
And then to pivot on for Jerry Jones, because he talked about setting the world attendance record and all this stuff during the COVID year and whatnot. So they pressed him, and he was asked the Cowboys fans who think he cares more about TV ratings than same attendance than he does winning. Long-winded quote here from Jerry Jones. Stick with me for a second. Jerry went on to say, first of all, I care tremendous about the viewership, and I care tremendous about the attendance at the stadium. I care tremendous about the attendance at training camp and the crowds that watch us practice. Fans and the promotion of the team is the promotion of the franchise, and that creates interest. And consequently, that begets enthusiasm by networks. It causes eyeballs to be on your television. So, unabashed, I work every way known to man to have the Cowboys stay relevant and interesting. Where the misnomer is that I care any more or less about that than I do making a first down. That's where it goes awry, and that's just not right. Every chance that I'm given an opportunity to trade dollars, or if you will, trade an issue of visibility or an issue of promotion, every chance that I get a chance, I go for the first down. Every chance. I'll go all the way back to when I bought the team. That was the most money that ever came out of anybody's pockets to get into the sport. And somehow, God willing, I got in a spot to do it, and I gave every damn bit of it up to buy the Cowboys because I would rather have had that than the money. Well, Jerry, for me, reading that, this organization needs more first downs. 6 and 10. Obviously, we need more
first downs on offense and less
first down.
Giving up on defense.
Yes. So, Jerry, again, the spin doctor is married. What do you take away from Jerry and the I would give it all up for first downs?
I've said this before. I think I'm in the minority of fans because I do think he cares just as much, if not more, about winning. I think the issue is that he's too optimistic about the players he gets and about the coaches he gets. And, he's got that mentality of we've got the best roster every year and we like the guys in-house and, we're going to line up and we're going to be better every Sunday. And, even if you believe 100% that he only cares about the money, as a businessman, as much as he's made over the last 25 years with them being how they are, inconsistent, a circus, crazy off seasons pretty much every year, we're still the most, if not one of the most relevant franchises in all of sports. Think about what a Super Bowl would do to that. It would skyrocket. So I think he, even if you think it's just about money, winning helps his pockets more than what we've been doing for the last 25 years. I think he cares. I just think he's too stubborn and wants to do things his way and hope that it works that way. That's what I think.
Well, Spoony, the trade anything for first downs.
Listen, end of the day, man, we getting old. I know on this panel we're here. We're young, but we're in that age bracket. mid 30s, 40s.
I'm behind y'all, just to be clear. I'm behind y'all.
I'm 40. And I'm gonna say this, Jerry. You care about all of that stuff. End of the day, we are the laughing stock in the NFL. We are the laughing stock of the networks. The networks get ratings just by making fun of us. This is what's going on. I don't know how happy you are about that. Listen, yes, you got flex for a Sunday night game. You got flex. Jerry, you never get flex. You got to be placed. And what became a laughing stock Sunday night football, what the Eagles did at the end to the Giants. End of the day, Jerry, it's about time to win. Win. We're seeing other teams who have never won before finally get up and do things. Jerry, you pretend that we're doing something, and we're not. We're in the same boat 24/7. End of the day, Pat Mahomes, did he have to wait for his contract? No, he got one. Right after the championship, he got one. And guess what? The team got better than going again. And players who are free want to go to Kansas City. They're not coming in Dallas. We're a circus. We are better than Bottom and Bailey's. Seriously, it's always something stupid. Dumb. And I'm sorry to say, Jerry, if you care about that so much, I mean, then here's the thing. Don't say nothing. We're not going, you're lying. We're not going nowhere. You got to, listen, they were talking Stephen Jones want to be like Bill Belichick. How? Right. How? You go out there, you lie 24/7. You don't want to get better. You come out and say, I like the guys in-house. Understanding, BJ, myself, Tuck, Miss Mary, we watching the game. Everybody in this panel, we're watching the game. How the hell you see that guy good and he's trash? How? What is it, Jerry? What is it? So here's the thing, Jerry. All you care about is the ratings, but you don't care about how bad the team looks. Example, the first game of the season against the New York Giants a couple of years ago, the brand new stadium. You had cheerleaders dancing on the cage, everybody going crazy and nuts. You know, we broke the record and we lost. And what happened? Giant players signed autographs in our locker. Why? Because the position that hurt us that night, we like the guys in-house. We want to address. That's the problem. This is why you have guys on this team right now who care more about their brands more than anything else. Back in the day, you came in with that shit. You know what happened? Your locker will be outside in the streets. Right. That's how it was. Now it's Ken Candy. Wayfield that had you have Ken Candy here. This is Ken Candyland. This is what it is.
Okay. J Tuck.
Yeah, so and when I talk to people about this, I know you and Big Game James have been back and forth about this, Nick. So I agree with Big Game James, man. I feel like it's more about the brand. And I'm a Mavericks fan. I know Mary's a Mavericks fan. Nick's you a Mavericks fan? No, you're a Magic fan, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but it reminds me of like Mark Cuban. Eventually, Mark Cuban was all about the circus and the show and kicking basketballs on the court and getting thrown out of games. And it wasn't until Mark Cuban really just sat down, shut the F up, and was rich and trusted the people that he hired to do their job when things started to change for the Mavericks. And so I feel like what that question should have been asked, okay, Jerry, you care about winning or whatnot. Why won't you bring in someone to help you? 25 years. If he was filing his taxes for 25 years and every year he was taking a loss, eventually he would get a tax advisor. He would get a financial advisor. If the ratings were dropping and whatnot, and the sales tickets were dropping in Dallas, he would bring in some media marketing guru to help with that. But for some reason, when it comes to the running this football team, he hasn't brought in anybody with a football mind, not your son, who you can still control, but someone with a football mind to actually run this organization and get it back on track. And I feel like Jerry is more about the show. He's more focused on who's going to be performing at Thanksgiving than actual football and what's actually being produced on the field. Because us as Dallas Cowboys fans, and I'll ask everybody in the chat, what would it take for you to actually say, you know what, I'm not watching this or supporting this crap no more? Personally, I ask myself that question. I don't know, because I've seen some bad years. I don't know what it would take for me to say, you know what, I'm just not going to watch no Dallas Cowboys football. I'm done. And Jerry Jones knows that. It's no different than this Apple phone. It's no different from PlayStation. Like, once you're in this consumer market, you're looped in. And no matter what the product is, you're going to continue to purchase. And Jerry Jones knows that. Like I was telling you guys, I'm already locked in for next year. I don't even know if I'm gonna have my damn quarterback. I don't, but that's our fandom. He takes our fandom for granted because no matter what, we're gonna watch, we're gonna argue. Media's gonna talk about us on First Take and all these other shows, generate revenue. It's always gonna be there, whether we're winning or not. If we are winning, it's just additional bonus because you mentioned that quote. He didn't say winning, he said first downs. He didn't mention winning one time, but he mentioned networks and marketing and brands and revenue and all that and a few first downs. Well, a few first downs don't win the game. We need trouble getting to the end zone. So I just don't, man.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mary, and this has been and me and Big Game James says he'll tag me, I'll tag him. We go back and forth a little bit on this. Look, the idea to think that they don't want to win is asinine. It's truly asinine. Now, y'all can say, well, maybe they want to do this more than winning. No, I think they're just mutually one and the same is what it is. They want to win. They just want to win their way is what it boils down to. Because whenever you're, we talk about players having egos and different things like that and whatnot. It's the same thing for these owners. They want to do it their way so they can tell the other 31 billionaires, see, told you we do it our way, and I get a lot of people always want to bring up, why don't people just do things how the Patriots do it? You don't have a hoodie on the sidelines, so you can't do the things that the hoodie does. Sorry,
but
you can't operate that way.
Kansas City, like I said, Kansas City. I live here in Kansas City. It wasn't until the AFC Championship game I was able to pick Clark Hunt out of a lineup. There's no radio show he does weekly. He doesn't come on camera.
Right.
He's not doing all that.
Look, and before Andy Reid got there, what were they? Choke artists, right? They won the play. When was the last time they won the playoff game? Before Andy Reid got there, when's the last time they won the playoff game?
Because they had Herm Edwards and Todd Haley. But
I mean, keep going back. Just keep going. Don't stop there. Keep going. So yeah, it's easy to be Johnny come lately. And yes, Andy Reid's a great freaking head coach, right? If he wins a divisional playoff game, he'll be the only head coach in NFL history to go to 3 consecutive AFC and NFC championship games in both conferences. The only coach. I don't care who you want to line up on the board. He's the only one to ever do it. Right? So they got a great coach. Okay. Right? Oh, well, then they had Alex Smith to hold down. They bumped into, right, not a number 1 overall quarterback, but they bumped into Patrick Mahomes. They already had some weapons. Then when the defense wasn't getting it done, they went out there and, hey, does this sound familiar, Cowboys? The offense was fired, but the defense couldn't get it done. Then we got a defensive coordinator. They had won in the Super Bowl on the Giants staff. So again, I think it's completely fair game to discuss how they go about business. I've never said that I love the way they do it. You're just not going to sell me on that the Joneses don't want to win, that they put the brand over everything. Yeah. I think it's all mutually in the same, and that's how they go about their business. They want to be number 1 in ratings, and they want to be number 1 in the league. Now, obviously, that hasn't worked out. Proof is in the pudding. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that is fair game to criticize how they go about the business. But in their minds, they think these are one and the same in how they're going to accomplish their ultimate goal, getting to the Super Bowl.
Difference between us and other teams, winning and ratings and support aren't tied together. You'll never look out and see we're 2-7 at empty Cowboys Stadium. So it doesn't have to be a priority like in Jacksonville or Cleveland or other teams like that, where they have to win to get that fandom and get that revenue. For us, it doesn't. If we have
exactly,
we were still support. I had a guy come on my show and he was talking about how he paid almost like $7,000 to go to the Cardinals game and sit there on a Monday night and watch us get waxed. Like, but we're always going to be
right. And look, and I don't disagree. I'm not saying that it's the right way to do it, but that's just what they believe in, and that's how they're trying to accomplish it. You'll never catch me saying the way that they do business is the right way. Sure, you've done a good job of working. And think about this for a second. I was talking about GM and this, that, and the third, and whatnot. And they don't like how they do the in-house family thing. Everyone loves Willie McClay, right? Everybody loves Willie McClay. Where did Willie McClay start for this franchise? On their AFL team. And worked his way all the way up through the things. And now we got the hashtag and Willie we trust and everything else. Do you think them retaining Willie McClay isn't conducive? Do you think they're trying to win with Willie McClay? We think he's pretty good, right?
Right.
Well, guess where he started? At the very bottom. It worked his way up through the ranks because that's how they feel this thing should work. Now, again, back to it, it's not working because, hey, here we are 6-10. I don't disagree with that. But the idea to think that they would rather sell tickets than win, I think it's done because you said it, Tuck, on your own show, the best. Just win. We'll do our part.
Right.
And you think if we're sitting here and we know that, you think they don't know that?
But inverse to that, if they don't win, we'll still do our part. That's the problem. Like, you know, that's the problem.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I mean, the thing
it's
is they want to win. They want to do it their way. If
Right.
something happens to where they're not winning and the brand is suffering, that's when they're like, oh, we need to fix this. But that doesn't happen. So
right.
So they're like,
that's what it'll actually take.
But Mikhail,
so let's think about this too.
Bill Belichick's on the radio every week up there in Boston, bro. He's
Yeah,
on he's on the radio every week as well. Do you think Bill Belichick's not about winning? He's on the radio every week as well. That's just part of what they do in local markets. We're the Dallas Cowboys, so whatever said, it gets right. But again,
he's a GM.
But he's a GM.
Yeah. Jerry just happens to hold multiple titles, so
Right.
it's like
look, here's what we can all agree. Whatever it is, it's not working.
Yeah.
Those are facts.
Jerry and Stephen Jones working together is not a good mix.
Right.
You know,
the Jerry we need is the Jerry a long time ago when he bought the Cowboys. I remember it was a preseason game, I think in Japan or something like that. And what happened was Jerry goes to Jimmy Johnson. Where's the trophy at? Jerry saw how big the trophy was. He goes, Jimmy, I want that trophy. Jimmy's like, well, you know, we ain't. I don't care. I want that trophy. End of the day, that's the attitude of Jerry Jones that we need. Somebody who wants to win, who wants to get it. But now, throughout all these years, we won the 3 championships. Jerry's been the main guy helping out with the NFL as far as, you know, getting the football packages, dealing with those things and other stuff like that. It's like you lost your ways. Now, here comes your son, Stephen Jones. In the beginning, I'm thinking, all right, Stephen Jones is probably, you know, he's not like his father, but he's smart to get things done. I'm sorry, wrong. They need somebody under Jerry who knows what to do with this team. Now, Willie McClay, listen, end of the day, yes, he's fantastic in drafting and whatnot. But end of the day, I know he's telling, listen, we need to upgrade. And a guy like Stephen Jones, no, we'll see. The free agents that we picked up this year, where they at? In the streets.
Right.
All the teams. That fast. That fast. It tells you.
I mean, but here's what they do though. In their heads, they're like, so we realized that our run game, you know, we needed to stop the run. So we went and got Gerald McCoy to help us. We went and got Dontae Poe.
And Poe.
Yeah, and we realized that you know, we need better backup for Tyron Smith. Went and got a guy. Oh, we realized, you know, we need help here. We need help here. So they did a few of those things. They went and got Everson Griffin, and we were all excited about that. So they did those things, and it just didn't work. So it's like, oh, we tried. You know, we tried and just, you know, guys got injured, and we're, you know, top IR and one of the top IRs in the league, and our franchise QB got injured, and we're on 3rd string tackles and a new system. And I mean, that's just, I mean, I think I saw someone say, like, there's always an excuse. Yeah. Last year, it was something else. The year before that, it was something else. Yeah. So, I mean, in their head, they're like, we're doing everything we can.
Right.
But see,
it's not our fault. We'll just try again next year.
I mean, 4 quarterbacks this year. I mean, that's a reality.
Yeah.
Right.
My thing is this. What took, like, even with Donovan, I'm going to use Donovan Wilson as an example. He didn't play last year, right? When there's an opportunity for him to play, he didn't play. This year, why did it took guys to put us in trouble on that secondary to finally say, oh, Donovan Wilson is starting next week?
Right.
Now, again, we watch the game, right? This is not like back in the days. This is social media. We hear, we know what's going on. It took mistakes from that secondary to finally put Donovan Wilson in the game. And the way he's playing, to me, I take it as, damn, he might have made an impact last season as a rookie. Because the way he was going in preseason, hey, he bought all of us. But he didn't buy the Cowboys. I mean, that's my problem. That is my problem. Yeah. My whole thing is this, is that you see talent there in preseason and how the players respond to that one guy. You mean to tell me now one thought of, yo, sit down, when he got injured, okay, Wilson, get in there. No, it didn't happen. This year, the same thing. It took mistakes. Right. Davian Thompson and number 25 to make dumb mistakes. And on top of that, the comments that number 25 said, and he's still on the roster. He should have been cut and set an example. Yeah. No, he stays. We like our guys.
Michael Richardson with a question said he wanted to ask our opinion on something, and his group loyal to the start said a member said we're going to be cursed until Jerry Jones puts Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor. What is y'all's take on that?
I said that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mary?
I mean, I can joke about it or whatever, but I don't believe in curses. Like,
I don't buy it either. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's the right thing to do. It should be done.
You have to
It
do
should
right by
be
people who've
done.
done right
It should
by
be
you,
done.
man.
I
Like,
don't know.
If you do right,
We're the Chicago Cubs now. Is that what we are?
sports guys don't like ugly, man.
They don't like ugly. And Hall hitting the nail. Hello, hammer on the nail. The whole nine. Yeah, stop the basement shopping. Stop being cheap. And get what we truly need. And look, and if you've been listening to this show a long time, I said you don't have to be great everyone defense, but you got to be strong down the middle. It's just facts, and that's the one thing that we've missed in this defense for a long time. We haven't had really great safety play, and low key appreciate you, Jay Ratliff and whatnot. We haven't had a great defensive tackle in my opinion since the Roy Glover. And if you take a look at again the Kansas City Chiefs, as they have been brought up, what they do on offense, well, down the middle of that defense, it's a Chris Jones, it's a Tyrann Mathieu. Right. I mean, they're strong down the middle of the defense. So, my one and only offseason wish is in free agency is go get Justin Simmons and pair him with Wilson, and let's get to balling. So, yeah, man, we got to get better down the middle of the field before we get out here and transition to the next thing. Overall, Jerry's segment today and everything. Same old Jerry or are we preparing ourselves for a very long and cold off season here?
I need Jerry to hop on that yacht and sail away for a little bit, man. Like, let's go back on the yacht. Because remember, all around we were like, "Where is Jerry?" He was missing for a little bit. Jerry, hop on that yacht, bro. Just get missing for a little bit. Because right now, it's the same old, man. I feel like it's the Twilight Zone. I feel like we're talking about the same things that we were talking about last summer. Dak Prescott contract, being cheap, not bringing in guys to help defensively, coaching, all the same issues that carried over from last year, they're back. And it's just like, man, is it ever going to change? It's like, as a Cowboys fan, it's really hard to be optimistic about it. Our only shining hope is that we do bring Dak Prescott back, and this offense is just so fire, the NFL can't overcome it. That's the only thing I'm relying on for next year.
Well, a long off season or just Jerry being Jerry, Mary? What do you think?
Both.
Oh man. Oh my God.
Nelson.
Winter is coming. That GOT reference. Go ahead, Mary.
I mean, it's just, he hits the headlines every Tuesday. It's just is what it is. And they'll probably do a few things to surprise us in a good way. And they'll do some things that'll irritate us. And that's just par for the course as a Cowboys fan.
Spoony, is winter coming or just Jerry maybe being a little bit of Jerry?
For some reason, this part right here has me thinking of a song called with Tupac. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. For some reason.
But the name of the song is changes, though. But the name of the song is changes, though.
Well, he's saying I see no changes.
Right.
And listen, I'm with Mary. It's a little bit of both. I know it's early, but it's like we all for the past 11 years. 10 years with Garrett, 1 year with McCarthy last offseason. It's too much. I can't feel so excited until I see some real moves being made, some real changes, getting some real name guys. The only thing I was kind of excited about this season.
Same emoji from Genuine.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Let's go.
The only thing that got me kind of excited this season was only that these guys were still playing. They were still playing their butts off. And that's in December, that was it. Other than that, I got to see more. Actions speak louder than words.
Let me ask you this. If the Cowboys go out and sign Earl Thomas next year, is that a hush move? Would you be excited at this point?
Not excited. No. I'm not excited.
Next in
free agency.
Free agency?
This offseason, we bring in Earl Thomas.
I mean, I tell you this.
It's a hush signing. It's
Yeah,
a hush signing.
they're normally good for one hush signing.
It's a hush signing.
And
I don't think that over the top really changes much for us. Him being out of football for a year and everything that kind of went down with him. It's like, oh, y'all wanted Earl. We finally got you, Earl.
Got you, Earl.
Safety,
Franchise tag Dak. Dak is back, and here's Earl Thomas coming off the couch. Cowboys fans be excited. We're opening
it's
up
going to be
stadium.
like
Sell them
people buying the
jerseys.
Thomas jersey.
Sell them
Even though
jerseys.
he'll only be there for maybe a year and might
Great story you can sell. You know, we spoke to Earl, and you know he's really committed to Dallas Cowboys football. And
I'll be cool with it. As long as number 25 is not there. Number one, as long as you draft you a safety in this draft in the third round, Andre Cisco or 4 from Pittsburgh, something like that, I'll buy it because we got Donovan Wilson. We saw Donovan Wilson. I'll buy it for that. Just for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like a hush deal is gonna be looming this offseason.
That's a very Stephen Jones. Hey, 1 year you've been out of football. We're gonna kind of get you down here for the low. Come on in here and play. We know you've been wanting to be here. Hook 'em horn.
Has a name. You know, y'all been wanting a safety.
Yeah. Yeah. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Real quick before we position to our final segment, let's pay some bills real quick, guys. Real quick, if you're on Facebook, man, we appreciate you so much. Go over to YouTube, Stargate Podcast, hit our sub, hit the notification bell. Shout out to all my YouTube people out there. Michael, Brandon, Elazar, see you in the building. Lunatics in the building as well. Philly Notion, stop by, show the love. Ask us how the couch was. Appreciate you, Philly Notion. It's
you should tell us he was there first.
We put y'all there, but
he warmed it up though.
Yeah, he kept it nice and warm for us. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. On YouTube, on Twitter, your guy _Nix. For Mary at Star Gang Beauty. For Spoonie at Spoonie881. J Tuck, tell where they can find you as well before we get to this last segment.
Find me on Twitter at JTuck151. Also hit me on my YouTube channel, Cowboys Fans Only, and also go to cowboysfansonly.com.
All right, so this is going to rile up the people. This one right here, but we've already been kind of talking about it a little bit here and there on a variety of shows, and we've been in the social media streets talking about this as well. Drafting offense with the number 10 pick can happen, and you can still fix this defense.
Right.
I need everybody to get off the gas. Look, I know everybody's about defense so hard, and they're clutching their pearls. If you happen to say an offensive guy, look, if you get to 10 and Pitts is the highest rated player on your board, you got to take him. It cures your ills. I know, we got Jarwin, we got Schultz. We fall in love with players, guys, and no one's banged the table harder for Jarwin than me. If you've been a long-time listener to this show, look, man, he hasn't been on the field. We don't know what we have. We think we have an idea of what he can be. Schultz, played great, surprised us all. But Schultz is Schultz still. He's not a game changer. He's serviceable, which is fine what you want from a 4th-round pick. Mm-hmm. You have a problem with the red zone. There's a guy like Pitts available that changes your identity within the red zone. And if he's the highest rated guy, now if there's a defensive guy that's higher rated, by all means, take that guy. But at 10, early on outset, I don't know if there's going to be a guy higher ranked. Why would you pull the trigger on Pitts? But if it is offense, look, I don't think it should be offensive tackle. Let's say they have offensive tackle rated high. We go through all these, the film study, everything else, and that's the highest rated guy when we get to the board. So be it. The meat, I want Cowboys to understand the meat of this draft defensively to get your help and really fill some spots is between rounds 2 and 4, where we're going to have 5 picks minimum in that range. You can still fix this defense and not take a defensive player at number 10.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
And the concept I want to give Cowboys fans, think about if you're shopping, you're going on vacation, right? And I need a new pair of jeans. I need some jeans. So I go to the mall, right? Mm-hmm. But I see whatever you like to wear. Let's say a polo shirt, and it's normally $100 polo shirt, but right now it's on sale for like $45. You're gonna grab that shirt too, and then still get your jeans, man. So like if you need something, you can still address that and also get something else if it's on sale. So if you get a Kyle Pitts at 10, it's hard to bypass on that. You really can't. Like you said, Nix. Dalton Schultz played great this season, but Jarwin has been limited, and our biggest struggle has been in the red zone. Pitts automatically fixes that, and it helps with your debate about moving on from Michael Gallup possibly as well. And so it solves two issues for the Dallas Cowboys, and we can address the defense in the second, third, and fourth round because we have an influx of picks remaining throughout this draft. So if it's available, because I don't see there a guy at 10 that I'm just like defensively that changes everything. Like I just don't. And if you watch these drafts and you go through your own mock drafts, do your own research, there isn't that one standout guy. If you tell me Caleb Farley or I can get Asante Samuel Jr. in the second round, I'm perfectly fine with either or. I'm not jumping on the couch for that. But if you're able to bring in a Kyle Pitts to this offense, what we already have, and add that with these weapons, it makes life easier for our quarterback, Dak Prescott, moving forward, and it solves so many issues. So you go with it. Go get you a polo shirt, bro.
Yeah, come on, man.
I want to read this real quick. This is from a scout about Cowboys. Well, first of all, I'm gonna give props to Mary because she was, I believe, was the first one to post about Kyle Pitts going to the Cowboys in a mock draft.
Yeah.
And I remember
That was
that.
what was that? That was when we were at 5 or 6, I think.
Right.
Yeah, at 5 and 6. And I remember that list of everybody saying, what? What are you talking about? That can't happen. And now we all stuttering in little by little. Here's the thing. I'm going to read this real quick. It says, this is from a scout. I love his athleticism, but I was even more impressed with his instincts and savvy as a route runner, Jeremiah wrote in his scouting. He understands how to work and settle in space versus zone coverage, and he also has a good feeling for attacking the leverage of his defenders. That bodes well for adjustment to the NFL today. 6'6", 240 pounds. Now, one scout compared him to was my man from the Raiders, Waller.
Right.
Darren Waller. That's one comparison. Now we all know Darren Waller from the Raiders. That's a bad man. One scout came out and said a bigger version of Shannon Sharp. Now here's the thing. Tight ends. Now, the last tight end to ever be drafted, I believe, so high, this balled out. I believe it was Gronkowski and Hernandez when they both got drafted the same year. After that, you had your Hawkinsons, you have your Noah Fant. They saying this guy is better than that group right there. You could put him with the Gronk right there. My thing is this at number 10, especially for Dak Prescott, you never stop.
Right.
If scoring points is what the league is about today, scoring points.
Right.
That's another threat. Why settle? I'm sorry. Patrick Surtain, that's not my guy at number 10.
Right.
Or Caleb Farley. I wouldn't even. I'd rather trade back and get more picks. Because at the end of the day, cornerbacks in this draft, the depth-wise, these guys do not separate so much. There's not a Jalen Ramsey in this draft.
Right.
No, there's not a safety like a Jamal Adams or Micah Fitzpatrick. That's not even the rounds. For what the Cowboys need on defense, we can get later on.
Mm-hmm.
But if a guy like Kyle Pitts is right there, we got CeeDee Lamb, we got Coop, we got Gallup. Hell, welcome to the party.
Right.
Score offense 2.0.
Right.
That's what it's gonna be. And guess what? Go with it. Go with it.
And think about this, y'all. 2016. I was there in Chicago. We still needed to address the defense. And what did we do? We took Ezekiel Elliott because getting a player that caliber, if it's sitting right there, you just have to do it. Now, granted, I would have probably did things a little bit differently. But what I'm trying to say, offensively, if there's a player that falls to that caliber, it only shifts your offense and make them more explosive. Like Spoon mentioned, scoring points is the name of the game right now. Yeah. If we're always talking about Cowboys, Chiefs, Super Bowl, well, damn it, we're gonna have to put up some numbers, especially if Mike Nolan's coming back to definitely win in these ball games. So you might as well build on your biggest asset, which is your offense.
Mary?
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all said. I mean, to be honest, I'm still cool with trading back too if somebody really wants that spot. But yeah, I'm a big fan of not overthinking it. Thinking I have to get defense because my defense suffering. I have to do it. Because you're missing out on great players. If we do that, we don't have CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
And I haven't met not one Cowboys fan that doesn't love them some CeeDee Lamb, even though they would have taken defense technically on their board. They all love CeeDee Lamb. And it's the same thing. It's this is an offensive league. Let's outscore people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, the big hole in the offensive pie that we've been talking about, right, is red zone. And that kind of guy changes it. And just like defense and where you got to be strong down the middle is because offenses that are elite attack the middle of the field more than they attack the outside of it. And you add a Pitts into that, man, it just takes this offense to another level. And free agency can happen in different things, right? That you can go out here and do some things on defense, provided we get Dak signed before free agency, that we're all, we think it's going to get done, right? But again, you got to go BPA. Once you start reaching and not doing that, for instance, go back to the taco draft, right? BPA should have been TJ Watt, but they believed he couldn't play with his hand in the dirt. Right. So they went with Taco instead of TJ Watt. If they would have went BPA, they would have took TJ Watt and walked away from it. Right. And whenever you start pigeonholing your pick into, well, we don't really need this, even though he's the best available player on our board, then you can find yourself getting into trouble. And the biggest thing that we've all talked about this on a multitude of times is this right here. There's not a Chase Young in this draft.
Right.
There's not a game-changing guy. Now, if we get to this 3-4, we can start talking about Micah Parsons and how a big need that's going to be. But at that point, he's probably not going to be there at 10. So do you really want to go up and lose the pick seed? Now, if we're going to talk about, we're going to move off the 10th spot, then, hey, I'm with Mary. Team trade back. Now, somebody come up here and get it, but you have to be willing to say, if Pitts is on that board, well, I'm going to trade back and get an extra pick, and I'm going to leave this guy who might be in the top 5 of my board that I could have got at 10th on the board and walk away from it. Now, obviously, we have Senior Bowls, right? We have the Shrine Games. We have the Combine, and all this stuff is going to change and move around. But again, I think Cowboys Nation really needs to understand and get into the mindset of you don't have to take defense at 10 to accomplish what you need to do with this roster. And I think whenever you mention something like that, man, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, man, people's hairs set on fire. They're how dare you?
Yeah. Well, I think back to one of my first videos on my channel was about us drafting CeeDee Lamb. This guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's thinking. How dare we? We already have Amari Cooper. And now everybody walking around in 88 jerseys perfectly fine. So I think when we draft Kyle Pitts, man, you guys will be an instant fan and it's instant impact to one of our biggest strengths, which is our offense, man. We'll be okay.
And also, too, just looping back, I mean, the draft is the end of April. Right. We have free agency that if we go in there and take it seriously and sign guys and stop being cheap, get Dak done early, we can fill some big holes. We can fill defensive tackle. We can fill safety. And then you get to the draft and it's like, okay, if we keep Cheeto, okay, we got a CB there. We have Trayvon Diggs coming back for a second year. Okay, we have the luxury of definitely keeping a guy like Pitts and saying, okay, he's here, so we'll draft him. Instead of they're reaching for a need because they didn't address any, and the fans want them to reach because they didn't address any. If they just do what they're supposed to do in the offseason and not drag their feet, we can be sitting at the draft comfortable and just let best player available fall to us and draft it as it goes.
Right. And the other thing too, we don't need, as we talk about these hush per se signings that they do, like maybe Earl Thomas, we don't need a hush draft pick.
Right.
All right. Defense is bad. We win defense. Hey, defense is bad. We went here and we got this guy.
JC Horn jerseys are available at the pro shop.
They're available now because y'all wanted defense, so we went and got defense at number 10, guys. It takes me back to that one. But forgive me, I don't remember the year. The special teams was just really bad, and they took a whole damn draft and drafted basically guys that were really good special team players in college. Don't sit here and say, all right, well, we need defense. Cowboys Nation's in the uproar. Well, you know what? We're just going to take defense every single pick, no matter what. And this thing's just going to turn around. Because, well, hey, guys, it ain't on us because it'll turn into the us versus them. Hey, we drafted defense.
Number 10.
Y'all wanted defense.
Y'all wanted defense. We got defense. What more do you want from us?
Right.
So again, I just want just get prepared that there might be an offensive guy there that's going to sit there. Hey, look, I did a mock draft. It's early. The Heisman Trophy winner, when I took Pitts with my mock draft that I did, Smith was sitting right there.
Yeah.
Same thing with me.
And somebody on this panel likes a guy named Chase. Yeah, somebody.
Toys, man. Turbo Master 5000, man. That's what I'm saying. Load up the weapons, man. You got a few guns, but you can always use an extra more, man.
Yeah, I mean, get an extra clip. Get an extra clip in that thing. And at the end of the day, again, the meat of this draft, man, start looking at some of these other guys that you're going to see us talk about that we've talked about before in them second to fourth rounds, man. Like this, if we're allowed to draft a cornerback that's only 5'10" and not 6 feet, like a Samuel. right? He can probably step in to be your nickel corner day one from Florida State. You know, there's things that you can do here that are going to help you out in this draft. I mean, somebody's pet tiger, Big Nasty down there in LSU.
Shelvin, yeah, man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, man, I mean, there's right. I mean, you can get him in the second. Yeah. You know, so I mean, there's ways to go about it. And look, and there's some linebackers late in this draft as well too that you can go get and bring it in out.
Because
Xavier Collins,
Tulsa.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to explain. If you were to take Kyle Pitts first round, boom, then you turn around with Asante Samuel Jr. in the second. Then you turn around with with my guy, defensive tackle, in the third, like you're solidifying 3 key areas just like that. So it doesn't have to be the opposite right there.
Put it this way. I would put it this way. A draft like that, what Tucker said, I will grow my hair like a Mel Kiper and put some a lot of gel and mousse on my hair.
Yeah. Another cornerback, if we're allowed to draft a guy that's not 6 feet, Molden out of Washington.
Molden.
Yeah, there's another one.
Somebody asked about a tight end from Texas A&M. I think that's Jalen Wademeyer. I don't know if he's coming out. I don't know if he's coming out at all. Big tight end, playing the SEC. I think 1,000 yards in 2 years. About solid, very good tight end.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me on the tight end front, if it's going to be a tight end, it's Pitts. Anything outside of that, I'm Pat. If he's not a difference maker, not saying that he's not a bad prospect, but for me, if we're talking tight end, it's Pitts or bust. Like I'm all the way out. Yeah. Now, if you want to get the later rounds, get you a blocking tight end, something like that later on down the 5th, 6th, whatever. That's what you need. But as far as that goes, that's and hey, calling it now. Saying is if Saban's there in the second round, that'll be the pick. And I think he's going to be a riser.
The combine is going to help Xavier.
Yeah,
I think he's going to jump up.
He's going to be a riser. He's going to be a riser. And you know, one of the little nuggets here too. Hey, we scout Tulsa very well, right? We went and got quote unquote Mr. What you call it? Robinson. Excuse me.
Right.
Yes,
got Reggie Robinson there, right? And that was Willie McClay's pet cat. So Xavier is on their radar, and that's a good call there, Mendoza, for sure.
Let's jump back in that first instead of trading back. Let's jump
in.
Third,
because you'll have the ammunition to do it.
That's what I've been doing on my mocks. I've been telling everybody with my mocks, I'm gonna be aggressive as hell. So y'all might not like mine. So y'all like, how?
No, I like it. Jump back in if you can. Jump back in.
Tennessee Titans. I got mine on there. I think it's the 25th pick. And so
I jump back in. I'm down for that.
And I will throw this one out there. Obviously, this will be one that we'll talk about a lot here and there. But just throw it out there. Are you against? You ain't got to name a player, but are you against? And Cowboys Nation's in the chat. Let us know what you think. Are you against trading the 10th pick for some defensive help? I'm not trading for offense, but are you against trading the number 10? You mean
like a player already established in the league?
Right. Are you against trading for a player to come in that's a day one impact guy?
Or who is it?
Absolutely. Y'all, you know my take on that, and so
you could go. Let's say Quentin Williams is available.
Right.
Quentin Williams from the Jets. Big Nasty in the middle.
No, that's no.
I'll give you that and a sandwich. And a sandwich. A nice hoagie sandwich. I'm taking that deal.
Top number 10, it just seems like that's too much.
But for what we need is really just not there. You know, it's just like, like I said, I was kind of one of those people holding off on draft talk, but it's just not there. It's just what we need is just not there at 10.
I mean, if the Rams are trading Aaron Donald, I'll do it.
Oh, well, it might cost you more than the first.
Yeah, I'm saying, like,
you're our first for the next 10 years or something with that. So. But I think, but also goes back to what we spoke about earlier. What is our scheme going to be or whatnot? And honestly, man, if Mike Nolan's coming back as defensive coordinator, I might just say the hell with the defense anyway. Go all offense, man. Whatever. Y'all score 40, we'll score 50, and we'll get up out there with the win. So,
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and one last thing before we get out of here, because we're reaching up against that time, we're getting against the clock a little bit. Did y'all happen to see, as we're talking about the defense, did you happen to see Wade Phillips came out there and had a tweet today? Y'all happen to see the Wade Phillips tweet?
Ooh, yes, I did.
So after Jerry went on the TV and talked and everything else, Wade Phillips came out and said, "Oh, you can go from a 4-3 to a 3-4 in one season," and then literally, go ahead and read it off. Yeah, go ahead and read it off for him, Simone. Go ahead and read it off for me.
If you're wondering, it can be done. Change from 4-3 to 3-4 in 2011 with the Texans. They were division champs with a 10-6 record. And in 2015, they went 17-4 Super Bowl champs. And
wait, who was the Super Bowl champ?
What
did you say?
Denver
Broncos. Oh, I heard something different. Okay, go ahead.
And 17 with the Rams, they went 11-5. They went division champions. So what he's saying is that he converted those teams' defense in 1 year, and they accomplished something, either a Super Bowl or they went to a championship. Matter of fact, the Rams went to the Super Bowl and played the Patriots that year.
Right.
So he basically saying, Nolan, you should have no excuse. I had no excuse. I turned it around like that. Hey, Stefanski for the Browns.
Well, he didn't have an off season, so that's his excuse.
Yeah, if I'm Mike Nolan, I'm getting a Twitter account. Hey, bro, you sneak dissing, man.
No offense, but Wade Phillips with that fire is like, I did it 3 different times. It only takes 1 year. It is what it is, So, but I mean, it helps though. I will say the one thing Wade might have left out of that. Well, I had an Aaron Donald over here. I had a Von Miller over there. I mean, some of those things, I'm just saying.
We got an Alden Smith. Look, we got to listen. I'll tell you,
that don't count.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this.
The 2 guys you named have been out of football for multiple years.
Yeah,
we can't compare them to those guys.
No. I'm not comparing them to those guys. Those guys are studs. I mean, these guys have been away. But what I'm saying is this: Wade Phillips, when he was with the Dallas Cowboys a couple of years ago, my problem was we had no other pass rusher other than DeMarcus Ware. Anthony Spencer was supposed to be that guy, but with the injuries, that didn't pan out. DeMarcus Ware was the only guy we had in that 3-4. If you look at the team right now, as far as pass rushers, we are loaded. The only one who has an issue of standing up is D-Law. But if you're talking about Gregory, Alden Smith, and Bradley at 9, we got some Armstrong. Jerry loves Armstrong. I don't know if he's coming back. It's another one. We got the rushes. The problem is that middle, that big, nasty guy in the middle, right? And
need your Vince Warfolk.
Right. There you go. That's the issue.
Right.
I think Wade would do a phenomenal job with this defense.
That part. Well, with that being said, man, that's going to wrap it up for the Cowboys Report this Tuesday. Shout out to our guy Jay Tuck for joining us for this roundtable discussion. Man, go ahead and pay some bills for yourself, brother.
Yeah, like I said, follow me on Twitter at JTuck151. I appreciate all the support, Cowboys fam. I appreciate you guys. You guys are family. Also follow me on my YouTube, Cowboys Fans Only, and then go to cowboysfansonly.com for your CFO merch.
Boom. Mary.
Well, I've been quiet the last few days. I'm working a lot. So, but you can catch me on Twitter at Stargang Beauty. And Facebook at Mariella Bowers, and in the Starking group and on the Starking page usually during normal hours. But
fair enough. Happens. Spoonie. Oh, put one in the pot. She said shit. Oh, 2 in the pot. 2 in the pot, Mendoza. All right, Spoonie, where can they find you at, brother?
At Spoonie881 on Twitter. You know where I'm at. I'm at home at Stargame Podcast.
That part, as it says, your _guy_Nicks on Twitter, man, come follow me. Appreciate everybody rocking with us. We're trying to get that YouTube up. Stargame Podcast, man, hit that dadgum sub button, hit that bell. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. And, man, we'll be back here next Tuesday. And, man, you have notification bell on, man. You just never know when we all jump on. I mean, including you just never know when you might see us sometimes. Right. Yeah, well, we pop on in a moment if something pops off. But definitely every Tuesday's right here. You catch with the Cowboys Report. And, of course, we are going to be bringing some draft stuff. Me and Spoon here probably towards the end of February. We're going to start running that big board once a week for y'all. And we'll start building that big board. 203 is where we're at. We're going to run it all the way till the Super Bowl, and then we're going to go ahead and donate that. But 203 is where we're at right now.
Mix it away, man. When do you want those stupid ass wings, man?
Oh, that is true. I forgot about the damn wings. I think you can place that order for me Super Bowl Sunday. Right, I think I'll let you supply the Super Bowl party here at the house with those wings. As in fact, Amari Cooper was the number 1 wide receiver for the Cowboys this year. Now we might run it back next year. We'll see. We'll see.